my top 10 movies of 2024. Right, so I've got a couple of honorable mentions. This was difficult for me. I loved a lot of films. Like I say, I was really into variety this year. Honorable mentions: Strange Darling. That was a great sort of thriller horror film, non-linear, like starting on chapter 4 and going back to chapter 2 and then up to chapter 5 and then down to chapter 1 and then ending with chapter, like just a really imaginative, wonderful thriller. Like, I wasn't expecting to like it. Every minute of this film got better and better and better. You're just like, excellent. So that's one of my honorable mentions. We Live in Time, like I say, super poignant for me. The whole part about cancer and the mum having to deal with cancer and wanting to be remembered for more than just her demise. That blew my mind. Obviously, I dealt with that in my life a lot, so that was really important to me. Heretic was wonderful. I love a good sort of theological, philosophical debate, and this whole film is just that, and it's Hugh Grant just chewing the scenery. He's so good in this film. It goes down weird routes, and there's a big giant amazing speech about Monopoly, and I just thought, wow, this film is a riot. This film is so fun and so like just totally me. Conclave should be the most boring film of the year, but it's riveting. I'm just stuck to my seat. I just thought, wow, this is so interesting. All about that film of Ralph Fiennes about trying to nominate the next pope, which, yeah, like I say, should be the most boring film ever written, right? It's just middle-aged to old men talking about which pope they want. Like, the most boring thing in the world. But no, this film was absolutely riveting. I loved it. And then my number one honorable mention, this one, this was in my top 10 for so long, until the end of the year, basically. It was in my top 10 for so long, but Late Night with the Devil. Late Night with the Devil was a found footage sort of horror film about this, David Letterman type show, where it's like interviews and stuff. And it's just like what happened on this show when he brings a sort of a girl on who has been sort of taken over by the devil, and just the horror that ensues. And it's just wonderful. Like, I can't recommend this film enough. I thought this film was awesome. And yeah, those are my honorable mentions. But now we're going to get into it, guys. I'm looking at my phone. If you want me to look at my phone, please let me know in the comments below. But these are my top 10, which means they are objectively the best films of the year. So at number 10, Nosferatu. Yeah, this film, as I said in my review, it's vibey as fuck. The atmosphere, the acting, the you could taste the film, you could smell the film, you could feel the film. It was just perfect. Just a great vampire Dracula film. Like I say, the vampire genre goes up and down a lot, but this was like the height of the highs of sort of vampire films, in my opinion. Nicholas Hoult, Bill Skarsgård, wonderful acting in this film. Lily Rose Depp was amazing. This film really had it all. I honestly thought this film was top of the tops. Really, really great. Which is why it's only at number 10. Number 9, I've got A Different Man. A Different Man is the film about the guy with that big sort of facial growth, a skin sort of growth on his face, and he gets it removed and auditions for a role in a play which has a character with that facial growth on it, so he has one made for him to wear. But then he meets this other guy who has that facial growth, and yeah, I just thought this film was fucking strange as hell in terms of that storyline that I just mentioned, but so good. Adam Pearson, I think his name is the real life actor who really has this face. He was a joy to watch. He had so much sort of life in him, and I just thought, wow, like what a fucking inspiration of an actor. Really, really great to watch. Of course, we had Bucky from Marvel. I can't remember his name right now, but I just thought he was great in this film. It's kind of like a film where the writer and the universe is just doing a huge joke on their main character. They're like, ha ha ha, you're the butt of this big joke, you silly bitch. And yeah, I found it funny. I found it bizarre, weird. It was very Kaufman. It was very much like being John Malkovich, that kind of vibe, a bit off kilter, left of center. I really, really loved it. My number 8 film of the year was, of course, The Wild Robot. The Wild Robot was beautiful. Such a beautiful film. It had me in tears. It had me wanting to sort of reach for the sky and just be like, yes. Just the messages in the film, the really, really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful animation as well. Not the sort of animation you're used to seeing. And I just thought it was imaginative. Really, this castaway story, this robot on this island having to sort of look after all these animals and finds itself becoming like a mother figure to an animal, and what it means to be a parent, I guess. And I'm not a parent myself, but damn, I guess it's quite a weird job. Like, you'll do everything you can to make this little creature happy and safe and prepare it for it to leave you without a thank you, basically. And it's just like, damn, what a thankless task. But mums are some of the best people out there, and dads, of course, as well. I just thought it was great. Really, really great. My number 7 film of the year. My review hasn't come out for this film yet. I think it's going to come out next week. A Real Pain, the Jesse Eisenberg, Kieran Culkin duo, two-hander. This film is about these Jewish cousins who decide to go on a Holocaust tour, which they got from their grandmother's will. I think it's like an all-paid trip from the grandmother's will. And it's this sort of comedy, this Holocaust tour comedy thing, and yeah, like that might sound a bit bleak, but and not how could that be funny? But it was funny. They're so opposites, these two cousins. They love each other so much. Kieran Culkin is great in this film, and you can see behind the excitingness of his personality, the jumping around and the swearing and being center of attention, and the joy that he brings to everybody in the world. You can see behind his eyes is a real pain. So in one instance, it's that's real pain behind his eyes. That's real depression behind. It's like Robin Williams, right? The happiest, loudest guy in the room, obviously suffering from huge depression. Sometimes it's the last people you expect. And then it's also a real pain because from Jesse Eisenberg's perspective, Jesse Eisenberg, this really socially awkward guy, just wanting to do the tour quietly and get on without any attention. And his cousin just being so annoying and abrasive and big and loud and like breaking the rules and not understanding social norms and stuff. And he finds his cousin to be a real pain. Like, that's a real pain in the ass. And it's like, cool. Like, I get it. The title was perfect. The film was awesome. I thought it was funny. It was charming. It was just a lot of walking around and talking. Kind of reminded me of, the Sunset trilogy, Before Sunset and stuff. Just a real chatty film. Real chatty. I thought the chemistry was great. And I recommend that film very, very much. That was my number 7 film. My number 6 film, I bet this is a film most of you haven't seen. But this film was really, really good. I saw it at the cinema at the beginning of the year. It's a disaster film. No, it's not Twisters. It's an English film set in London about this flood that happens. And it is called The End We Start From. Guys, this film affected me so much. I just thought the acting was really good. The idea of society collapsing that quickly when it's just some floods that happen for like a month basically, or 2 months, and just what this woman has to do for her kid, to look after her kid, and the crisis. It's starring Jodie Comer, who's obviously amazing. It's got some other like cameos in there as well, like Benedict Cumberbatch, and you know me. I love a good disaster film, but this is a really good one, and it's all set in London, which is where I live. And yeah, it's just like, what would you do in this situation? And it's like, yeah, you'd run, you'd go to the big hill or whatever, these things that you have to do. And then it's like, oh, but then other people are a problem, like other human beings are a problem. Fuck, you got to deal with other human beings now as well. Who can you trust, especially as a woman, when you're like in a world where there's a lot of people, human beings, men, who are stronger than you and more violent than you. Like, that must be scary. And just, yeah, great film. I loved it. And now we've come to my top 5. So, yeah, my number 6 was The End We Start From. 7, A Real Pain. 8, A Wild Robot. The Wild Robot. 9, A Different Man. 10, Nosferatu. Number 5, this one is, a bit different from the others. This is like a sci-fi horror film. Of course, it's Alien Romulus. Yeah, this film isn't nominated for any major awards this year. Yes, this film might be just like a popcorn, silly prequel, sequel film. Franchise film, you might say. But I loved every second of watching this film. I saw it like 3 times. I thought it was disgusting. I was on the edge of my seat. I thought the acting was really good from Andy, the robot. I thought he was awesome. And he's kind of got to play like almost 2 characters, but he's so good in this film. Kaylee Spaney, or whatever her name is, had a great year. She did Civil War as well. But yes, she was awesome in this film. And yeah, it's directed by that Fede Alvarez guy. And I just think he has got an imaginative mind for horror, because the monstrous thing that comes at the end of this film, the big swing he does, it is jaw-droppingly horrible. I'm like, I still think of that monster. I would just kill me. I would just kill me. Some really great moments with the acidic sort of blood of these aliens burning through the spaceship, so they have to do like an anti-gravity thing where it's just floating around. Or so imaginative, so fun. Just yeah. What can I say? I loved it. I probably loved it more than Aliens, if I'm honest with you. Lots of people love Aliens, the second Alien film. I like that film a lot, but I thought this was a little bit better. Don't tell anyone. Okay, my number 4 film of the year. We're sticking with sci-fi. It's Dune 2. Dune 2. Dune 2? Dune 2. So good. This film was so well realized. The worm scene riding those giant sandworms is a scene I don't think I'll ever forget seeing that at the cinema. That was so big. That director, his ability to show scale with those worms was incredible. Timothy Chalamet was awesome, and his slow transition, the Paul Atreides character, it was a little bit more funny than the first film. I quite liked the first film, but I found it a little bit boring. This film was so not boring. It was so exciting, exhilarating. It really is a big commentary on false prophets, and just amazing. I loved this film so much. Go and watch it if you have not seen it already. Okay, we're in my top 3 now. What's in my top 3? Oh my lord. Number 3, we got Wicked. I'm a musical theatre boy. What can I say? I watched this film. I cried. I laughed. I just wanted to belt at the top of my lungs. It was joyous. The singing was some of the best I might have ever heard those songs sung. Ariana Grande was a revelation. She was so funny. Her voice was perfect. Cynthia Erivo, again, her voice was perfect. And I will always think of that scene because it's a subtle scene with not much, not like the film is full of big, high intensity singing moments. But the Ozdos ballroom, where everything slows down, and Cynthia Erivo has arrived there, the Wicked Witch, Elphaba. She's arrived there wearing this silly hat, and everyone's laughing at her. But she's too strong to be upset. So she's going to stand there and take the laughter because she's a strong, strong ass woman. But Glinda, the Ariana Grande character, can see, oh fuck, I've made a mistake here. This is an ally. This is a fellow woman. This is an ally, and I've made her look stupid. I'm going to go and dance with her. And it's a very slow dance. And it's the help from a new ally that Elphaba realizes she's got a new ally. And it's the very person who she thought was her enemy. She's got a new ally, and that's when you see the tears start to form. When she's dancing and trying to be strong with a new ally. And I'm just like, fuck's sake, you got me, well done. So good. The whole film is joyous. I can't wait for the second film. Number 2. I'm a horror boy, and this was a horrible film. The Substance was my number 2 film of the year. The Substance, Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley. Or Qualley. So good. Substance, the film about the aging actress. Is she aging? She's like 50. And they're like, sorry, you're too old to be in the movie business now, the entertainment world. So you're fired. And so she takes this brand new substance, this new procedure where for 7 days she gets to wake up and be the amazing Margaret Qualley, the beautiful, young, vibrant Margaret Qualley, and everybody loves her. And then for 7 days she has to be Demi Moore again, who, in my opinion, is incredibly beautiful. Anyway, this film was so good. The body horror, when things start to go wrong with the procedure, with her body getting more disgusting and the eating. It's a very, very, I heard the director say this, it's a very unsubtle film. It's not subtle at all with its message about beauty standards for women in Hollywood. It's not subtle at all because Hollywood and the world is not subtle about this. So she made a very unsubtle film to combat that. And it's true, like, the world is not subtle about this. It's in your face 24/7 for these poor women. And some guys as well, they get it as well. And yeah, the film was great. The film was imaginative. Best scene of the whole year is that Demi Moore has been asked out on a date. And she goes to the mirror, puts on her lipstick, and she's like, I'm going to go out on a date. You know, fuck it. I'm 50. I still look fucking hot. I'm going to go out. This guy's waiting for me. She thinks, you know what? I'm just going to touch on my makeup just before I go. I'm just going to do one more touch up. And she reapplies her lipstick or whatever. Looks at herself in the mirror. Goes. Thinks she's in her head again. Comes back. Wipes off the makeup. She's like, I'm going to start again. I'm starting again. This is ridiculous. And it's a deeply affecting scene. It's like this poor woman believes so much that her value as a human is to do with how she looks. And she is beautiful already. She's so beautiful. She's Demi fucking Moore, right? And she can't get to that date. And it's heartbreaking. And it's kind of disgusting as well. She goes back to the mirror. She wipes it all off again. And the mascara. And she's like, I'm going to do this again. And, you know, I've seen my little sisters, obviously not do that, but I've seen some of my little sisters, like, really antagonize over what she's going to wear when she goes out. To the point where she wants to cry sometimes. And I'm just like, oh, the pain that this world puts on women, this ideal that you have to look more than perfect every time a human sees you is so sad, and it's so beautifully captured in this exact scene. And this film is filled to the brim with insanity and craziness and loud noises and disgusting prosthetics and things. But at the end, come down, it's just Demi Moore, the actress, with a mirror and makeup, and it's just a fucking perfectly acted scene, perfectly imagined idea, and really affecting to me. Like, I was just like, damn, like it's just, yeah, I live with somebody who speaks a lot about wanting plastic surgery and stuff, and it's just like, I'm all for people doing whatever they want to do with their bodies. It's your body, your choice. Do what you want. I've got tattoos. Like, what's the difference? Tattoos, haircuts, plastic. So what's the difference? But to not think your face looks good enough is so sad. Especially when you're as beautiful as my sisters and my housemate and Demi Moore. And, everybody's really beautiful. As long as you're healthy, everybody's really, really beautiful. Seriously, they are. But you're kind of manipulated into thinking everybody's ugly, which is so sad. And this film is not subtle about that message at all. And yeah, it's just that's why it's my number 2 movie of the year. I just think, fuck me, that film was just wonderful. So what is my number 1 film of the year? It has to be Anora. Anora, guys. Anora, the new Sean Baker film, starring Mikey Madsen and a bunch of other actors I've never heard of. This film is spectacular. The film about a sex worker, works in the adult industry. She's a pole dancer. She's a prostitute. And she gets involved with this young Russian billionaire. His dad's like an oligarch. And they kind of have this Pretty Women moment where she's like only for him for an amount of time, for an amount of money. And then they eventually think like, oh fuck, you know what? We're enjoying each other's company. Let's keep hanging out. And then eventually they get married. And then the whole film, for like the fairy tale, comes crumbling down when the Russian thugs come, and then you have to get the wedding annulled, and it's chaotic and screaming and loud. And Mikey Madsen is this abrasive, sort of really brash woman who will not step down for what she believes is rightfully hers, and she fights tooth and nail to the end of this film. She is just incredible. What an astounding character, an astounding actress. This woman who is not all sunshine and roses. Like, she is a bit of a bitch sometimes as well, but she just has vinegar about her. She's full of grit, and she's got attitude. She's sexy. She's fun. And she's just cool, man. She's fucking cool with it. And the Russian guys that come in, they're these silly thugs. But even they become like, you think they're just silly side characters, and even they become really, really important, poignant characters towards the end. It's the funniest film you will see this year. It is hilarious when it wants to be hilarious. It ends with the most heartbreaking scene that I've seen this year, not because, dead babies or whatever. It's heartbreaking in a very poignant, shades of grey kind of way, a very peculiar way. You watch it and you just feel sorry for her, even though it's really hard to explain. I gave a whole sort of ending explained video, so please watch that. It's on my YouTube channel. It's such a wonderful ending. It's I will never forget that. Literally the very last shot of it, you're just like, fuck me, what an incredible. And I don't think there's any music over the credits. It's just silence, and that's my number 1 film of the year. I just think, fucking hell, that film was good. Anora, vibrant. The director loves its characters. It never looks down on its characters, even though all of them are kind of shitty in their own way, or maybe all of them are doing things that society don't see as great, you know. But the director never judges them, and the actors don't judge these characters, and these characters are just filled with love, really, honestly, by the writing, the directing, and the acting. The the makers of this film love these characters, and you can really feel that, and it's full of life and joy and wonderment. And I loved it. Honestly, it's my number one film of the year. Go and watch Anora if you can find it. Watch it. It's so good. R rated, but so good. That's my top 10, guys. That's my top 10 of 2024. Next week, I'll do my top 10 TV series, streaming series or whatever. Because there was lots, but yeah, that's my top 10 films. There's a couple of films I haven't seen because I live in England, and for whatever reason, we just don't get some films until way later. Like they want to capitalize on the getting nominated for Oscars and stuff. So things like A Complete Unknown, haven't seen it. Brutalist, haven't seen it. I'm sorry, I just haven't seen it. They're not here. What can I do? What can I possibly do? So they'll probably come out once they're inevitably nominated for Oscars, and then they'll have big like the 9-time Oscar nominated film Brutalist at cinemas near you. Like that's what will happen. So that's just the way it is. Maybe I'll update my list once I've seen those films on Letterboxd, but that's my top 10, my official top 10. I thought those films were all fucking incredible. Watch them all. I'll just quickly run through them all one more time before I end. Number 10, Nosferatu. Number 9, A Different Man. 8, Wild Robot. 7, A Real Pain. 6, The End We Start From. Don't sleep on that film. 5, Alien Romulus. 4, Dune 2. 3, Wicked. 2, The Substance. And number 1, Anora. Those films smashed it. What a great year for films, in my opinion. And so, yeah, I guess that is where I'll leave it. Let me know what your top 10 films are of the year in the comments below. Let me know, because I'd love to know. You know, maybe there's some films I haven't seen that came out earlier in the year. You can let me know. And it's been an absolute pleasure, guys. You're all beautiful. Every single last one of you.